folks. It is a really great summer day, late summer day in August here in Sundsvall. And the summer is coming to its closing soon. So I'm going to do my annual little walkthrough, what I've been finding this summer at flea markets and thrift stores and outdoor markets and so on. When it comes to the outdoor markets, I have been a little bit disappointed because last year, those of you who saw my summer vlog, record hunting vlog, saw that it was pretty good on them last year. But this year it has been very, very bad with these. Not too many, at least at the range where I can go to them. I was hoping for more of those. In the beginning of the summer, it looked a little like it would be a very stale record collecting summer, but during the later part, or almost the end, now at the end of summer, it has been raining in a whole lot and extremely much 45s. So I figured out that if I'm not splitting this vinyl CD update up in two parts, this video will be a 2-hour long show, and I don't think that we want that, would we? So I take the singles now, and in very near future I will show also the vinyls I found. For those of you who haven't been following when I've been showing it on various streams and so on, and some of them you will see again, of course, in the upcoming summer vlog that will be up in the future. But singles, 45s. So let's start with Neil Sedaka, Laughter in the Rain, a Spanish release. I know what it is with Spanish releases because there have been a whole lot of them actually lately. And we have from Iceland a participant in the Eurovision Song Contest of 1986, a band called Icy, and their song Glädjebanken, which in English is what the B-side says, Bank of Fun. A classic I remember from that year's Eurovision. All Right Now by Free. Many of these costed, or should I say overall of these costed between 10 and 20 cents. We have also, when there are these cheap prices, I do a lot of blind buys to see if I find some new artists that I can discover. And here is one of those that I was positively surprised of. Never heard of this group. To be honest, I never heard of the label Anchor either. It's from 1975, and it is a band called, a duo called Philip and Vanessa, and a single called Love, and the B-side Baby I Loved You. Never heard of this, but it is kind of a nice singer-songwriter style. I really like it. I could actually buy a record if I find one with them. Sorry for a little sun glance, if you see it. We have a very early Diana Ross from 1971, just previous after she left Supremes. Her version of, no, this is first. It is a song called I Still Waiting, Motown release. And her version of the very famous Reach Out, I'll Be There. I said it before, I'll say it again, Diana Ross was at her best in the 70s as a solo artist. Martika, and a forgotten single from Martika's Kitchen album, Color Kisses, 92. Climby Fisher, Fire of the Ocean, On the Ocean. Maybe not the absolute strongest, but a really good one from '89. Earth, Wind and Fire, Let's Groove Tonight. One of the absolute final big hits from 1981. This one was a little cult classic, I might call it. Michael London, famous from as little Joe Cartwright in the Cartwright series, and also Charles Ingalls in Little House of the Prairie. Always plays these kind of nice, always kind cowboys that help others. Therefore, this was a little cult classic. As you know, I collect the stuff that is so bad it makes you laugh, even if they are having a horrible sleeve as this one. But with all due respect for Michael Landon, but he can't sing. He's a horrible singer, and it also sounds very funny when this very nice cowboy all of a sudden in the song starts to sound like a horny, creepy guy sitting and saying to his girl, "Oh, come on, give me a kiss, give me a kiss," and it sounds, Jesus. So it's really, really fun. A classic of mine that I really, really was happy to find. Wax with a fantastic, energetic American English. Wax, of course, Andrew Gold and Tennessee Grand Gold Band that had this duo in the 80s, and this is it's beyond me how I didn't become a bigger hit. There, of course, are some jazz here. We have Errol Garner, an EP called Visit of the Ivories, containing St. Louis Blues, Lullaby of Birdland, the Petit Waltz Bounce, and Love Me or Leave Me. And we also have Duke Ellington and his orchestra, and a very famous one, Sophisticated Lady, but not as worn out as many of his other famous songs. Skin Deep at the B-side. And we have in this jazz part also an Ella Fitzgerald. Ella Fitzgerald sings Cole Porter, orchestra conducted by Buddy Brueggemann. And the songs here are Love for Sale, All of You, Every Time We Say Goodbye, and You're the Top. Mix between jazz and Schlager maybe. The Deep River Boys, vocal group. Royal Garden Blues, Get Happy, Unchained Melody, and Melody of Love. They are singing with, they are having Rolf Larsson Quintet as their band, and it's Swedish, so they are actually then are singing with Swedish musicians. Katrina and the Waves, Rock and Roll Girl from 1989. This is a sadly forgotten great song. Much better than Walking on Sunshine. From Norway, but also part Swedish, at least the recording are. We have Inge-Lise Andersen, who is more famous here after she married a jazz musician, Terje Rypdal, and became Inge-Lise Rypdal. Here she sings a German Schlager called Romeo och Julia, Romeo and Juliet. Really nice go happy Schlager, that is actually good. And she sings in Swedish here, because she had a period where she got hooked up with Stickan Andersson, the manager for ABBA, and way before ABBA, and actually sang for him. And as I said, when you're buying these cheap records, there of course are bound to be some blind buys, artists that I had no clue what it is, but it's fun to give it a try if the singles costed 10 cents like these did, and to see is it really good, and hopefully you have some artists that you want to collect in the future. And I have a quartet of those here that are were really good. We have River City People, that were a British band fronted by Siobhan Meyer, the singer here, and you can call it some kind of crisscross between Pretenders or 80s pop rock style like Tepau or something like that. I actually like this. This was really great. So this one will stay. This one, I had no idea either what it was. Sandy Croft. Sandy Croft have been touring as front band, singing before artists like Waylon Jennings and Lee Greenwood and so on. And with that, it's pretty natural that you put her in a country genre, and she sings country, yes. However, if you look at her, she looks very young. How young? She was 13 when these were recorded, and actually you can't hear it. She's in this song Heartbreaker. It sounds like less raspier Stevie Nicks, and she's 13 years old singing like that. It's amazing. She has a fantastic voice. She doesn't sound like a teenager one bit. So I was really amazed by her voice, and the song also, because Heartbreaker is actually one of the songs that isn't in the pure country genre. It sounds a little country stylish, but it's actually sounds more like Chris Rea in the style. So this one will stay in the collection. Mara and the Scene. The band name is really bad. This singer right here is the one being called Tamara, not Tamara, but Tamara. And the one who came up with this stupid name is Jesse Johnson from The Time, the soul band The Time that gave us Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the producers. Jesse Johnson is the one who produced this, and the song called Everybody Dance. And with a name like this, I got a little feeling that what is this? But it's actually really good, because Tamara, aka Margie Cox, that she's more famous of, is from Minneapolis, and with that, it's bound to sound a bit like Prince, and it does. It sounds very much Prince stylish in the production and in the sound, and it's really good. To actually make the connection even bigger, Margie Cox here, or Tamara, actually became a member of the New Power Generation, Prince 90s band. So actually really good. I could actually really accept an album from her once when I find it. Swedish jazz pianist Charlie Norman, and a version of It Might As Well Be Spring with a quartet. Two that I actually realized that I have, but come from one of the few really great outdoor garage markets that I found out in the field. And there I found a whole lot of 70 Soul on single for $1 each. So of course I bought it. But I realized that I had two of them. This is Thelma Houston with Don't Leave Me This Way. But it is a Spanish release. No me dejes así in Spanish. No, she doesn't sing in Spanish. So I have this one. As I also realized that I had Andy Gibbs' song Shadow Dancing, also a Spanish release. I haven't made up my mind though whether I will keep these that are Spanish released or if I would keep the other ones I already have. We'll see. This one was a little fun to find. Who Shot J.R. Ewing, which was a comedy country song made by an artist called, for this single only, T.R. Dallas. And it was made back in 1980. We here in Sweden are a little bit, always at that time a little bit behind when it comes to broadcasting what the American had made, or should I say any series from outside of Sweden. So 2 years after that, JR was shot in Swedish television, and for that occasion they released a Swedish version sung by Swedish country singer Mats Rådberg. It is a pretty funny one. Who shot J.R. Ewing? Who shot old J.R. down? Who shot that son of a Texas gun that night in Dallas town? He doesn't sing in Swedish, so don't worry. It is a really fun thing to have, at least until I find the original version. So this one will stay in the collection, even though it's normally not my thing with country music. The Brothers Johnson Stomp. I have this one already, but it misses a proper sleeve. So for 20 cents that this was costing, I could sell for a new version with a great sleeve. Now, some accordion jazz, not with Rob Van Dam, not with Jean-Claude Van Damme, but with Art Van Dam. Accordion player from Holland, Netherlands, and really one of my favorites when it comes to accordion jazz. Sophisticated is this song. He plays with a quintet. A jazz EP collection from Jazz Tone, a label that I normally isn't that fond of. But I couldn't resist it for 10 cents. Rockin' the Rocket by Sam Price, Page and the Devil by Lester Young, even though you can't hear on this recording that is Lester Young. Get the Bucket with Jelly Roll Morton All Stars, and Take No Holes with Errol Garner Trio. More jazz, accordion jazz style, Swedish, Lill-Arne Söderberg, Little Arne Söderberg, and Swinging Swedes. The Lady is a Tramp, Duella, Shake Down the Stars, and Just One of Those Things from March 22nd, 1954. So accordion jazz with accordion and a bunch of Swedish great musicians. Melba Moore. It's not easy to see on several of these which is A or which is B, but we have Next to You here, and we have Everything So Good About You. More great 70s soul, as is this. The OJs sing a happy song from 1979, Philly Soul. And we have One in a Million Girl. OJs, always fun to find. Not that easy to find good priced OJs albums. Peaches and Herb, Reunited, from 1978. A soul classic. Coming back to those two later. Bad Manners, a British ska comedy group. Extremely funny guys. Special Brew from 1980. Swedish group Distinct, that is from this city, Sundsvall, my city. I actually saw them live in the beginning of June when they played, and I haven't listened to all that much before, but after hearing the live concert it was surprisingly good. I actually got curious and bought this single from 1982. Hör du mig? Do you hear me? And this is actually a really great Swedish new wave rockish style. I'm going to look out for more Distinct. We have Engelbert Humperdinck, Winter World of Love from 1969. And Take My Heart. We have an Art Garfunkel, I Shall Sing, from 1973. And the B-side, Phyllis O / Do Spacemen Pass Dead Souls on Their Way to the Moon. A great song though, but little long title. Swedish musician Basse Wickman, who were a studio musician that got to release a couple of interesting albums in the AOR pop style. It's really good. Cynical Girl is produced by another famous Swedish musician, Mikael Rickfors. We have Leo Sayer and More Than I Can Say. This is actually the only Leo Sayer song that I actually really like. And I have the album for this one only because of this song. But now when I have it on single I can call away the album finally. Because the album itself is pretty boring. The Whispers with the song Lady from 1979. And on the B-side, I Love You. I listened to this one and I felt like the B-side, I Love You, was actually way better than the A-side, so that can also happen. More Swedish, a band in the synth pop genre that sounded at the prime very much like standard ballet style. Lustans Lakejer, or Vanity Fair, that they were called when they had their tryout at the international market. And a song called What's the Redhead's Promise the Blonde Ones Keep. This is a little obscure, Lustans Lakejer, because I never heard of this one. It's actually not on, from what I know, on the album that were released, because that one was in Swedish. This one is in English. So, very interesting. I promised more Peaches and Herb. Here they come. Roller Skating Mate from the Twice the Fire album from 1979, an album that I was very disappointed at because they moved from pure soul to more disco style and it didn't sound all that good. But this single is actually one of the few pretty good songs from there. Moby, and one of his earlier stuff, Go. Genesis and Paper Late from 1982. The Challenge, Face It, with Chris Thompson, an artist that I don't know all that much about, but the producer I know more about, Harold Faltermeyer. This is a song for the 1989 Wimbledon event. Actually, pretty good one. Billy Joel, and It's Still Rock and Roll to Me from Glass House's album. Classic that I felt like I must have. Smokey Robinson, Are You Forever? From Being With You album that I also was very disappointed when I got it. But it was some great songs, and this one was a pretty good, really good one. This is Italian music that some of you might know more as Volare. Oh, the original title is Nel blu dipinto di blu, sung by Domenico Modugno in the Eurovision Song Contest in 1958. So this is the single, and it's also, as you can see, released on blue vinyl. More Basse Wickman. This is a single from 2 years later than the previous one, Angel of Mercy from 1985. Everything But the Girl, a sophisticated and really relaxing British band with the song Native Land. Johnny Marr plays harmonica here. Johnny Marr from the Smiths, and who has done really great solo stuff in previous years. This sounds a little bit like the Smiths, to be honest, actually. Haircut 100, a band that I haven't listened all that much to, but this one I found pretty great. And it is a song called Favorite Shirts, Boy Meets Girl. Really energetic and great stuff, actually. And finally, Janis Ian, Fly Too High. Janis Ian Goes Disco, because it's produced by Giorgio Moroder. But it's really, really great one. Actually, surprisingly great to be Giorgio Moroder. And finally, I found a little oddity that I couldn't leave behind, even though I'm not sure that I ever will be able to play it. Musical Stalking. As you know, I like this little obscure odd stuff. A commercial album for stockings that were released in the 50s on this rectangular paper cut. The song is called Jorden Runt, Around the World, which is a very fun title since the record itself isn't round. Unfortunately, someone has bended it a bit, so I'm not sure that I will not be able to play it. But fun to have these little obscure formats. So that was part 1. Let's now see what I have gotten more in part 2. Then I will focus on CDs and full-length vinyls. So until next time, take care and see ya.